Welcome to this GSC Diginet update. I'm your host, Jim Cavell. So much to talk about when it comes to NCAA playoff action within the Gulf South Conference realm. As we've had two different GSC teams finish in the top 25 at the NCAA Cross Country Championships, as both West Florida's women and, of course, Alabama Huntsville's men placed in the national tournament for cross country. And then looking at volleyball, we had CBU, UNA, and West Florida all compete in regional action. On the men's soccer side, we had CBU make the playoffs, and then on the female soccer side, UNA. All these teams now done with their seasons. Congratulations to you all. And two teams are still alive to try to win a national title here in the fall, and those teams are Delta State, the number 1 seed in the NCAA football Super Regional number 2, and after this weekend, UNA is still alive after a big win, avenging their earlier this season loss to West Alabama on the road, 43-27. Terry Bowden's squad will now get another rematch here in the NCAA playoffs as they will take on the university that is Delta State. And the Statesmen are ready to go. So it should be a great game this weekend. You can get all the updates on playoff action right on gscsports.org. In the meantime, let's check out some highlights from this past weekend's SAAC event at the Hilton here in Birmingham, Alabama, hosted by the GSC headquarters and Commissioner Nate Salant. There were some hot topics discussed at the event by former athletes, including myself, from the Gulf South Conference.
To presidents and ADs and SWAs and FARs every few weeks, they really value the student-athlete opinion. So it's basically our job to relay what the student-athlete voice is all the way to the presidents. And that was our biggest role. National SAAC gets a chance to speak on the convention floor, and there's been very, very controversial issues that was divided until the National SAAC came up and said what the student-athlete opinion really was. And once we gave our opinion and gave some background to how we came to that answer, we really did swing the vote. So a lot of the legislation in the NCAA really does come from the student-athlete voice.
Christina, how did you wind up at CBU?
The GA at CBU was coming out to Arizona to watch another player on my club team. And I'm a goalkeeper, so it's either a school needs you or they don't. It's not like we'll pick you up and maybe we'll use you, we can sub you in here and there. They're either looking for a goalkeeper or they're not. And CBU happened to be looking, and they saw me at practice and just approached me and started talking to me, and that's
being a grad student and an athlete.
Talking to professors at the beginning of the semester is obviously important, and if you have a good FAR at your college, then all those issues should already be taken care of with those professors.
One thing that I always tried to do was, if I knew I was going to miss something, trying to do it early, or at least talking to them about it ahead of time instead of trying to make it up later, because they're going to appreciate that and try and work with you because you're trying to stay a step ahead and you're not trying to get handouts and favors from them. You're trying to help them out.
Professors who were challenging, difficult, some were anti-athletics.
All of the day, it's just like anything else. There's going to be people your whole life who are going to look at you and judge you before they know you, and it's your job to just make a good first impression and not try to skip class or basically have a sense of entitlement that they're expecting to see, because that's how they're looking at it. Oh, they're an athlete, they think that they're going to get special treatment, and not all of them are like that, but some of the ones I encountered had that way about them, and you just have to tear that down by being a good student and a good person.
The toughest challenge that you faced, just in general?
Well, I mean, living at home for 20 years and then coming over to America, not knowing anyone, it was obviously a bit of a culture shock coming over. Different foods, different people, different accents. It was all strange to me. But I think, just being able to train every day, it was a great distraction, and it allowed me to focus on what I love to do, which is play soccer. And schools there, you're always kept busy, which is great. And I think for international students, one of the best things is really getting to know the American culture, and so getting invited to a Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas holiday, Christmas with their family, if if you're not going home for the winter break, I think is just an amazing experience. A new culture, new people. So that was some great memories doing that with some teammates.
The biggest thing in Montevallo was I had to deal with a coaching transition, and we had a new coach come in, and he came in ready to run every player he could off the team. And so, unlike soccer, where the season starts right away, you have a fall, if you're a coach with that goal, to run every player off the team, literally. And so, we had a coach come in who wanted to see who wanted it, who wanted to still be a part of the program.
What has it done for you, especially playing in college? Where has it led you? How has it affected your post-college career?
I've been in the workforce for a year and a half, and so I'm really still learning about what my skills are and what kind of asset I am to a company. And that was something that I really have noticed over the past few months, that in the business world, it's that competitiveness and that kind of go-getter attitude that really got me the job that I have. And
I think as student athletes, what you have to offer to a company is capacity, the ability to handle and juggle a lot of different tasks in a lot of different areas, because that's what you're doing right now on the field and off the field at your institution and as a SAAC representative.
The athletes are not supporting each other on a couple of these campuses. What were your relationships like with the other teams? What were your relationships like with non-athletes? And how did you get the rest of the community to care about your sport and sports in general?
The way you try and deal with it is through certain student-athlete events. The SAAC, obviously you meet on campus. Every sport is representative, so these issues come up. Hopefully you're running your meetings in that sort of style, where you have sort of an open forum, and does anyone have an issue in this team or this team? And those issues are going to stay there unless they're discussed. So that's something that hopefully you all can be responsible for and bring back to your campus SAAC meetings, because if you discuss it, then that's the only way you can really resolve the campus issue.
Worst thing about being a college athlete, Christina?
Pass. Come back to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Jim wants to answer this one first.
I think this, it's the best and the worst, but it's pressure.
I guess, well, for me it goes hand in hand, but just not being around family, so missed a couple of Christmases and so forth, so that was tough.
Both
I don't know. I couldn't have a job in college, so I didn't make any money while I was there.
That's
That's a good one.
That's
actually a good one.
Never have any money.
Zero money. Yeah.
Very good one. If you had it to do over again, would you go back to CBU?
I think I would have tried to go to a bigger, more competitive school. I think I didn't think I had a chance of playing anywhere because I started so late, but really, I realized about halfway through that if you want to play a sport somewhere, you can get in anywhere you want to be. So that.
Matt, if you did it again?
I obviously love everything that has come from going to CBU, but knowing the players that, were competing in Division I finals, I know I was at that level. And it was more about me not knowing the NCAA structure when I first came over and things like that. So I definitely know I had the talent to play at a higher level. So yeah, possibly.
Jim?
Would have done everything the same except not get hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I look back and I'm like, oh, I could have done this or could have done that, but I'm happy where I am, and I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for that decision.
The national rankings, Delta State leads
Great
the
stuff
way
there from
at
the
7.
SAAC.
Alabama finished the regular season 8-2 and 2-2 in conference play, joining DSU in the NCAA playoff field thanks to a 30-23 win as Valdosta State. VSU finishes the season at 6-4, 1-3 in conference play.